Good afternoon, children. Welcome to your I Learn English Literature class. We'll start with a new poem today, which is If by Rudyard Kipling, which is chapter number 13 on page number 117 of your textbooks. So the poem If is basically an inspirational, a motivational, a didactic poem. Didactic means it is a poem which imparts some practical or moral lessons, and it is a very highly inspirational poem which teaches us some life lessons, the ways in which, different ways in which you should lead your life. And the ultimate goal, ultimate aim is to become a better human being, is to become a good human being. How you should lead your life that will make you a good human being. Okay, so basically this poem has been written by the poet as a paternal advice from a father to a son. How do we know that it is an advice from a father to a son? We come to know in the last line of the poem. If you turn to the next page, you will see the last line of the poem says, and which is more, you will be a man, my son. So it is only when we read the last line of the poem that we come to know that it is a sort of advice which a father is giving to his son on ways, on his life lessons. He is teaching him practical lessons, life lessons on how to lead your life, how to become successful, how to become happy, and ultimately how to become a good human being in life. That is what the father is giving an advice to his son on how he should lead his life so that he becomes a good human being. So if you read the green portion, If is a didactic poem. Didactic means it gives moral lessons, teaches some moral lessons. It is a sort of letter from a father to his son. It can be a letter from the father to his son, giving him advice, advising him, and making him realize the importance of imbibing qualities. What are the qualities which he wants his son to imbibe, to take on in his life? What are those qualities which he wants that his son should possess? Those are the qualities of self-confidence, self-respect, courage, humility. Humility means to be humble, to be modest, truthfulness, hopefulness, objectivity, and willpower. Objectivity means to be rational, to understand the situation and then judge it based on facts. Okay, to judge something based on facts, impartially judge something based on facts, that is to be objective. Okay, so these are the qualities which the poet talks about to his son, and he tells his son that if you imbibe, if you possess these qualities in life, there is no way in which you will be defeated. You will become successful if you have all these qualities, and all these qualities will ultimately make you a good human being. The poem, the structure of the poem, if I talk about it, it is a single complex sentence. The poem has been written like a single complex sentence. You have already done complex compound sentences, so you understand what is a complex sentence. And it has conditional clauses also you have just done, so you will understand that it consists of a lot of subordinate clauses, and most sentences are beginning with if, and the final like I told you that if is a condition, if lays down a condition. So all the sentences in this poem, if you see, begin with if, a subordinate clause, and the main clause of the sentence you will find right at the end of the poem, where the poem ends. That is the main clause. So if you take in the sense of the grammar which you have learned just now, the condition, the entire poem lays down a series of conditions. A lot of conditions have been laid down, and the result and the reward is mentioned right at the end of the poem. So what will you gain if you fulfill all these conditions, all the ifs? If you fulfill all the ifs of the poem, what is the result which you will gain is given at the end of the poem, which is that if you fulfill all these conditions, if you meet all these conditions, you will become a better human being. So it keeps the interest of the reader alive as he reads through the poem, and ultimately the end, the exact result, the consequence of all the ifs is answered in the last line of the poem. So let us start with the first stanza. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. So this is the first stanza. From the first stanza itself, you will see that the poet is trying to tell his son, give his son some advice on how to go about his life. The first line, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. That means you should remain calm and composed. You should not lose your temper when everyone around you are not calm. They are losing their cool and they are holding you responsible for the problem, for something which has gone wrong. They are putting the blame on you. You know that it is human nature that when something goes wrong, we want to put the blame on others. No one is ready to accept the blame if anything goes wrong, and it is a group is involved. Everyone wants to blame the other person. Nobody wants to take the blame on themselves. That is human nature. So the father is trying to tell the son that you should remain calm, composed, when everyone around you is losing temper, losing their calm, losing their cool, and they are also holding you responsible for the problem which has occurred, okay, and blaming it on you. This line means that if everyone around you is losing their calm, losing their composure, and they are also blaming you for something which has gone wrong, but you should keep your calm. You should be calm in the situation. If you are calm in any situation, you will be able to take a better decision. So it is very important to be calm and composed in life, even when you are tempted to lose your cool, to lose your temper over something which has happened, and you are not very happy that people are blaming you for whatever has gone wrong. Okay, although maybe everyone is responsible, but they are putting the blame for the wrong on you. You should remain calm and composed and not lose your cool. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Very important that if you can trust yourself means you should have self-confidence. What is the quality which the father is now telling the son to have? You can write down. In these two lines, he is telling his son. In the first two lines, he was telling his son to keep calm in a difficult situation. How one should be calm in difficult situations. In the next two lines, the poet is trying to tell the reader that he should have self-confidence, faith in oneself. If you can trust yourself means if you can have the faith in yourself, if you have confidence in yourself, when all men doubt you, means when everyone around you is doubtful about you, blames you, is holding you responsible for the wrong done. But you should have the faith in yourself. You should have confidence in yourself that you are acting correctly even when everyone around you thinks that you are wrong. You should have the faith in yourself that you are correct. But make allowance for their doubting too. Now, the second line says that you should also be prepared. You should also be prepared to be questioned by people. You should not think, even if you know that you are correct, you should be ready. You should be prepared to take questions from others, to be questioned, and accept it also that people may have a different point of view from yours. Make alliance means that you should be prepared to be questioned, and you should be prepared to accept the views of others, and you should be ready to listen to them, that why are they doubting you, where are you going wrong, that people have to doubt you, people have to be suspicious about you. You should be prepared to take that also. You should be prepared to accept that you can go wrong, and you should be prepared to be questioned by others. Okay, you should have the confidence and trust in yourself that you are correct, but at the same time you should be prepared to listen to others, to take their views, to listen to others, to take what they want to say. You should be ready to answer their questions also. You should not think that, oh, I'm right, and whatever they are saying, I don't want to listen to it. You should be prepared that others may have a different point of view from yours, and you should make alliance means you should be prepared to be questioned by them. Okay, doubting, for their doubting means for their suspicions, whatever reason they have to suspect you, to doubt you, you should be prepared to answer, listen to them and answer their questions also. So the quality which you should have is, first is faith and confidence, self-confidence. These two lines are talking about the quality of having faith in oneself, of having the self-confidence that you are correct, but at the same time, be prepared to accept your mistake, be prepared to listen to others also. Next, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, this is a line which tells you immediately when you read this line, you come to know that what is the virtue that the poet is talking about here? Patience. Patience is the virtue. You can write down, this line talks about patience. If you can wait, that means if you have the patience to wait. Sometimes things take time to have to give results. The result may not be immediate. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are working on, it takes time to show result. So you should never get tired of waiting. You should be patient. You should always have time. Sometimes there are things which take time to give you the desired result, and you should work hard, do your bit, and wait patiently for the result. We should never get tired of waiting. We should keep on trying, but if we do not get the desired result in one attempt, first attempt, we should keep on trying. We should have the patience. So this line talks about having patience and never be tired of waiting. You should be have the patience to keep on waiting for the desired result till you achieve the desired result. You cannot think that as soon as I have done something, I will get the result. Maybe not today, but in future, you will achieve the result. But you should have the patience. You should not lose your patience. Okay. Or being lied about, don't deal in lies. The poet is further advising, or the father is advising the son, that maybe that people are lying about you. People are spreading false news, fake news about you. They are lying about you, but you should not indulge in lies. You yourself not deal in lies means not indulge in lying. You will not lie. Even if others are lying about you, we should not lie. That means, what is the quality the poet is talking about in this line? You should be truthful, honest. So you can write down on this line the virtue that the poet is talking about, that his son should imbibe is truthfulness. To be truthful at all times. Don't worry if other people are lying about you. You should not indulge in lies. You should not lie. You should remain truthful and honest at all times. So the poet or the father is advising the son that no matter how many lies, how many falsehoods people spread about you, you should stick to the truth. You should not move from the truth. Nobody should be able to move you from the path of truthfulness. You should remain truthful. You should not take recourse to lies, even if others are resorting to lies. Your recourse should be the truth, not lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. Again, it means that we should love and respect people. Please write down what are the qualities the poet is talking about in this line is, even if people hate you, people have hatred in their hearts for you, you should love and respect everyone. You should not harbor hatred for anyone in your heart. Love and respect. He's teaching his son to have love and respect for people, for whatever good qualities they have. No one is perfect in this world. Every man or woman has some or the other flaws. So instead of hating people for the flaws they have, you should love and respect them for the good qualities they have. So no one is perfect in this world. Everyone has some or the other good or bad qualities in them. So he's trying to tell his son that even if people are hating you or being hated, means if you are, even if you are being hated, people are having hatred for you, you should not hate people. You should have love and respect for them, because every person has good and bad qualities both. So instead of hating them for their bad qualities, you should instead give them love and respect for the good qualities that they possess. And yet, don't look too good, nor talk too wise. Very important line. Even if you do all this, you know that you have the calm and composure. You know that you will not lose your cool in difficult situations. You know that people are blaming you for something which you haven't done. You have the self-confidence that you are correct, even though people are blaming you. But you also listen to those people. You make alliances. You are prepared to listen to the accusations which have been hurled on you by the others. If you have the patience to wait for a good result, even if you are being hated, but you love other people, you show respect for them, even when they are hating you. Even if you do all these things, please do not show off. The last line of the first stanza means that the poet is asking the reader, or the father is asking the son to be humble. Please write down. Last line, be humble, be modest, be down to earth. The quality which the poet is asking the son to imbibe in himself is the quality of being humble, humility, modesty, where you don't have to show off, even if you think that you are better than the people around you. Please do not show off, do not look too good. Be humble, be modest. Do not act superior to other people, and do not talk too wisely. Do not try to show off that you are very wise. Do not try to show people you are worldly wise, because if you know life, people do not like that you are above them. They will not appreciate you. Even if they know that you are better than them, they will not appreciate you. They will think that you are acting too wise. You're talking you are behaving in a way that you want to act superior to them. Nobody will praise you if you try to show off. So remain humble, remain modest. People who show off that they are too wise or they are too good, they are better than others, are never liked by anyone. So you, even if you think that you have all these qualities you have imbibed in yourself, be humble, be down to earth, be modest, and do not try to show off your qualities to others. Okay, so this is what the first stanza means. Let us move on to the second stanza. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap of fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. So this is also a very important stanza which teaches you so many things about how you should go about your life. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. The first line says that it is very good to dream. It is very good to have dreams, have ambitions in life. But do not let your dreams take over you, overpower you, that you will do anything to get your to fulfill your ambition. Don't let that happen. Don't let dreams control your life. Don't not make dreams your master means don't let the dreams take control of your life. Okay, please write down. Not make dreams your master means don't let your dreams control your life. Don't let your dreams control your life. Even though it is very good to have dreams, to have ambitions in life, don't let those dreams control you. Don't let those dreams overpower you. Okay? If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. So again, the poet is saying, the father is advising his son that it is very good to think. To think is a very, to have thoughts, to have ideas, to have your opinion on every issue is a very good thing that you have. You can think properly is a very good quality, but you have to put your thoughts into action. Don't let them remain just thoughts. If you don't put your thoughts into action, it is no use having those ideas, those opinions, if you don't implement those ideas, those thoughts. Okay, so please write down, not make thoughts your aim means it is not enough to have opinions or ideas. It is not enough to have opinions or ideas. You should put your thoughts into action. You have to put your thoughts into action. Okay. So this is a very important line. The next two lines which you are going to read are very, very important. If you can meet with triumph and disaster. Triumph means victory. Disaster means failure or defeat. You can write down. Triumph means victory and disaster means failure and defeat. And treat those two imposters just the same. Imposter means a cheater, a pretender, someone who pretends to be something which he is not. So here you can easily make out that triumph and disaster are two inanimate things, two abstract things which have been given, which have been personified. So triumph and disaster clearly in these lines are personification used by the poet. So the poet is trying to say that if you can deal with success and failure equally, okay, if you have the capacity to deal with both success and failure and not make it, not be too overjoyed with your success, nor be too depressed about your failures. So you have to treat them equally. Life is a combination of success and failure. Okay, very important. Life is a combination of both success and failure, joys and sorrows, ups and downs, good times and bad times, isn't it? Life is a combination of success and failure, good times and bad times, ups and downs, joys and sorrows. Life never remains the same. If today you are successful, tomorrow you might meet with some failure in life, some defeat, somewhere. Today you are joyful, tomorrow you may be sorrowful about something. Today you are up in your life, you are high up, you have everything you want from your life. Tomorrow you may come across where life takes away everything that it has given you. So it is a combination of success and failure, and therefore you should neither be too overjoyed, too happy and celebrate your victory, and neither should you be too depressed about your failure, because success and failure are temporary. They are not permanent in life. Okay, so once maybe you are meeting fair, you have a lot of things today, but tomorrow you may have nothing. So never take success and failure as permanent. So the poet is asking the readers that if you have the capacity to treat both success and failure equally. Give them the same treatment, similar treatment in life. Neither be too overjoyed with the success nor be too depressed or sad about failure. You have to treat them both equally. You have to understand that success and failure are temporary. Ups and downs in life are temporary. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Knaves means dishonest men, people who are dishonest. Make a trap for fools means sometimes people, what they do, whatever you have spoken, maybe you have said something, but there are people in your life who may find it convenient to twist your words. The words you have spoken, they may misrepresent those words. They may make it into something else. Nowadays you see that journalists, what they do is whatever is said by a person, they twist those words to make it more spicy, to make the headline more appealing. They twist the words of the people. So whatever headline you read, do not go by that, because the headlines are mostly misleading. They are spiced up so that the reader is attracted to that line. But maybe whatever, when you see inside, when you delve deep into the news, then you will find out that the headline had no meaning. Okay, so if you are ready, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, that means you have spoken something, you have been truthful, you have been blunt, you have spoken something bluntly, but your words have been twisted, misrepresented, misconstrued, misinterpreted by someone. Okay, sometimes dishonest people, they will twist your words, they will misinterpret your words to fool others, to make others believe that, see, he has said this, but maybe you have not said that, or you have not meant to say that. Your words were totally different, but they have misrepresented your words. So there are dishonest people in life who can distort your words to use it for their benefit. They can distort those words to use it for their benefit, but you should have the faith in yourself that whatever you have spoken is the truth. You will experience this, that people sometimes distort whatever you have said. This happens amongst friends too. Sometimes when you do not like a particular person, you may go and he might have said something like frivolously, he might have mentioned something to you, but then you make it big, you make it spicy, you go and tell the other person that, see, he said this about you, but that is not the entire truth. Maybe he's twisting your words and telling the other person. So those are the dishonest people, but you should have the courage to bear with those kind of people. You should have the diligence, the knowledge that these people are trying to twist your words. The last two lines of the second stanza: or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them with worn out tools. Stoop means to bend, build them means to rebuild something. Worn out tools means with whatever is left with you. Worn out tools here refers to whatever is now left with you. Now, this line is a very important line. I'll give you a recent example, like Kangana's office was broken by the municipal corporation. So she had spent so many years working in so many films and earning that hard-earned money she had earned, and she had built an office for herself. So it was something which she rejoiced in, something which she must have taken so much effort, so much planning to build, and everything she lost in a few moments. Everything was destroyed. But she had the courage. The statement she gave was that I will rebuild everything. Okay, I have the courage. If you have, life is there with you, you have the talent, you have the courage in yourself. It is possible to rebuild even if you have this, everything is destroyed before you. But then you should have the courage and the conviction in yourself that I will be able to rebuild this. Whatever I have lost, I will regain it. Okay, so you should have that courage and conviction in yourself that you, whatever is destroyed, broken, the word broken here refers to destroyed. Okay, you need to be able to pick yourself up and rebuild everything with whatever is left over. You should have the courage and conviction that you will be able to rebuild everything that is lost, that is broken, that is destroyed in life. You should have that humility to stoop and build. This shows humility. Watch the things you gave your life to. That means she gave her entire life. She gave her everything she had to build a particular place for herself, which she desired. She must have dreamt about it. It was her dream to have an office like that. But when it was destroyed in a few minutes, she did not lose the courage. She had the conviction and she has said that she will rebuild. So you should have the courage to first see that everything that you have built, you have worked your whole life to build something, and that is destroyed in front of your eyes. You first should have the courage to watch that in front of you. Everything that you desired, you dreamt of, being completely destroyed in front of you. First of all, you should have the courage to watch that. And secondly, you should have the humility, you should have the that confidence in yourself that you will be able to rebuild everything that you have lost with whatever is remaining. The worn out tools refers to whatever remains, whatever has been left over. With that, whatever little you have now in your hands, you should be able to pick up the pieces and rebuild everything again. Okay, you should have that courage and conviction in your heart that you will be able to again build, do it everything over again. You should not lose heart if you see that everything that you had ever wanted to do, you had done it, you had achieved, you have reached the height you wanted to. But now that you have come down, you should not lose hope. You should remain hopeful that I will do it again. If I have been able to do it once, I will be able to do it again. No matter what, I have the courage, I have the conviction in myself that I will be able to rebuild myself. You should have that in yourself. So this is what the father is trying to teach the son in the second stanza. First two lines, that it is very good to have dreams and ambitions, but you should not let your dreams control your life. Second line, it is very good to have opinions and ideas and thoughts, but again you should put your thoughts into action. Don't let them remain thoughts. Third line, third and fourth line says that you should face both success and failures of life and treat them equally. Don't be too happy or to celebrate too much when you meet with success, nor be too sad when you meet failure. Treat them both equally, because both of them have are not permanent in life. They are temporary phases of life. They will go. Okay, so treat both of them equally. Success does not remain forever, neither does failure remain forever. The fifth and sixth line says that you should have the courage to bear that you are honest. You have said something bluntly, but you are being misrepresented, misinterpreted. Your words are being distorted by someone, but you should know that you are truthful, you are honest, you have been honest, and you should have the courage to listen to all those things which have been distorted by others to pull you down. People have misrepresented your words, but you should remain truthful, remain fixed on what you have said. Okay, the last two lines, very very important, that you should have the courage and conviction. If you see that everything that you have worked for in life is suddenly destroyed, completely destroyed in front of your eyes, you should have the courage to pick up the broken pieces and start afresh, make a fresh beginning. Okay, start anew, start afresh. Okay, so this is what these two stanzas have told you. I will do the next two stanzas in the next class. because it is a little complicated poem to understand, but then I have tried to explain to you whatever was needed to be told to you. That the last two lines are also very, very important, that you should know, you should have the courage and conviction to rebuild yourself, to start afresh with whatever is left. You should not be disheartened if you lose something, if you have spent your entire life gaining something, achieving some position, and suddenly one day you see that it is all destroyed, it is all over. You should not get disheartened. You should not be hopeless. You should have the hope and the courage and the faith in yourself that you will be able to rebuild yourself again and gain that position. The second stanza has three personifications you can mark. Not make dreams your master. Dreams your master. Again, dreams has been personified. That dreams can become someone's master. Dreams can take control of your life. Although dreams is an abstract thing. So dreams your master. This line has a personification, and triumph and disaster working as imposters. They have been called cheaters. These two have been referred to as cheaters, imposters, pretenders. So what have these two been referred to? These two have been called cheaters, triumph and disaster, although they are abstract things. So triumph and disaster has also been personified. So we will continue tomorrow with the next two stanzas.